Hello there, homeschool friends. This is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and if you would like to see curriculum flip-throughs and organization, planning, lesson ideas, everything from hauls and unboxings to how we use things in our home, in our daily homeschool routine, you've come to the right place. I chat about our homeschool journey here. I show you lots of good things, and I would love for you to subscribe and follow us along on this homeschool adventure if that interests you. Please go ahead and hit the like button. I do pay attention to that as well, and we'll just hop into this video. This is something that is really timely. I wish this wasn't a problem for so many of you, but I'm hearing it left and right that many of you are just waiting for your curriculum to come. There is a huge delay with many publishers, and shipping companies are having delays. Publishers are running out of books. Books are on back order. Shelves are emptying quicker than they can refill them. And it's a real issue because a lot of people are homeschooling this year due to the pandemic that weren't homeschooling in years past, and it's just a real it's a part of the new reality right now. And so I have 5 suggestions for you today of what you could do if you are either a new homeschooler or a returning homeschooler that just doesn't know what to do without your stuff. You're used to having your stuff and ready to go, and you don't really know what to do because you plan to start now and you don't have your stuff. So this is, when I'm recording this is the 3rd week of August. We always start the 3rd week of August and go until the Friday before Memorial Day. That's just when we homeschool. We typically follow our local public schools calendar. This year they have opted to wait until after Labor Day to start, but we decided to just go ahead and start when we always do, that 3rd week of August. So as I'm recording this video, it is the 3rd week of August, and the notices that I'm getting from the publishers that I regularly purchase from, even though I've received my books and we're okay, we've got our stuff, I still get the emails because they're just general customer updates that they're sending out. And I'm hearing things, like we're on August 4th or we're on August 5th today. And as I record this, it's August 18th. So they're a solid 2 weeks behind in filling orders, just filling them. And then of course they have to ship to the customers. So they're, experiencing anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks in time from order, to people getting their stuff. So that's, kind of frustrating if you're looking to start your homeschool year, and I can understand that. So here are 5 things that I came up with today. One's going to be a real basic, no-brainer, and you're going to say, Carrie, that's not helpful. So I'm going to give that one first and just get it out of the way. And then I'm going to give you some other things that maybe you hadn't considered, especially if this is your first go around and you really don't know what resources you have. And hopefully some of these things will help you and give you resources you didn't know were available. All right, so the very first thing, my first suggestion would be to just push back the start of your school year. Just give yourself grace. Everyone's starting differently this year. Everyone's starting later in the public school arena. So just give yourself grace and push back your start time. Or part B of number 1, just start with what you have. If you have some things and you just are waiting for history and science and math, but you have language arts and reading or spelling or something, just start with what you have. A lot of times I have started with just a few subjects for the first week of school anyway, and just kind of gave us a real slow start into the school year just to kind of get ourselves back into the groove in a way, but it's not necessary to have all pieces parts to start learning. You just go with what you have. If you have some of your curriculum in, just do those subjects, and then maybe when the new stuff comes in, you maybe hold off on the subjects that you were doing and kind of double up on those new subjects to kind of bring yourself back up to speed so where you don't want to get like so far ahead so that you finish those first books, or maybe you do. Yeah, that's up to you. But if it were me, what I would do is I would say I had spelling, math, and science here, but I was waiting for history and language arts and reading or something. I would go with those first subjects just as is. I would just do those, and we would have shorter school days. And then when those new subjects came, I would hold off on these ones, and I would just go with these subjects and catch myself up so that if I was in lesson 15 in these subjects, I'd get myself to lesson 15 in these subjects, or however it works out. and then we could kind of be in the same place to start our full school days, and we wouldn't be kind of all over the place in our lessons. That's just what I would do, okay? That would be my suggestion to you all. It would kind of give you a slower start, and but allow you to actually begin and not push back your date if that's important to you. So that'd be my first suggestion. Like I said, that's kind of a no-brainer, and so I just thought I'd get that one out of the way. Many of you have probably already considered that or have heard that from other homeschool moms. All right, so let's get into some things that maybe you haven't thought of. Then the second suggestion I have for you would be to look at the table of contents for your materials. So christianbook.com is a great place to go. They have secular materials too. They don't just sell Christian materials. They sell all sorts of homeschool material from different styles and whatnot. So I will go there or to the publisher site directly if they have a page preview of everything in the front part of the book. So your individual publisher may have really good previews of the curriculum on their website. Some are better than others. Some just give you like a sample lesson page and that's it. They don't give you the table of contents or anything. So wherever you can view the table of contents online, go there and get the table of contents. Print it out or save it to your computer, whichever you prefer, and then start with those early topic lists. Are they covering the Pilgrims? Are they covering World War I? Are they covering atoms and molecules? Whatever subject it is, whatever topics they're covering, go to the table of contents and see what they're covering, and then just pick out resources on those topics. So if you're waiting for your history curriculum to come in and you're going to be studying ancient history this year, and you're studying from a biblical worldview, so that very first section of time is going to be about creation and Noah and all of that. So just get yourself some good books from the library. Master Books has a ton. You can go to their website and see what books your library may have on those topics. Get those out from the library, or get some good DVDs that Answers in Genesis has produced, or maybe get some materials from your local church. Maybe they have some things they could refer you to, and just cover those topics. If you're waiting on your math curriculum to come through, I highly recommend the website, or it's actually a YouTube channel, Math Antics, and the website Math Mammoth. There are full lesson videos on math topics at mathmammoth.com or mathmammoth.org. I don't know which one it is. But she gives full instruction videos on math topics from, I think, first or second grade and up. And so you can go there and look at the table of contents in your math curriculum, and you can go there and you can do some practice lessons with her and find free printables online, and you can just go with it. And then those topics have been covered when your curriculum comes in, and just pick up where you left off on that table of contents. You don't have to go back and redo those topics that you've already kind of done while you were waiting for the books to get there, but just look at the table of contents and get resources yourself. I highly recommend a couple things on YouTube that you wouldn't have to really go to the library if your library is not open yet, or if you're trying to stay away from using public services like that. I highly recommend a couple things on YouTube that you can search by topic. Free School and Homeschool Pop both have some terrific history videos in particular and social studies topics, but they do have some science things. Just as a word of caution, I don't know the worldview of these particular websites, so there is a potential that you could come across some things that differ from a biblical worldview. But if you're right there watching, then you can discuss those things with your child. So just as a little word of clarification there. But that's what I would do. That's one of the things that I thought about. I'm like, what would I do if my books didn't come? That was actually one thing that I was thinking that I might do, is just get the table of contents and go by the topics that are being covered and pull my own resources together until my books got here. The third suggestion that I was thinking might be helpful to you all is to consider going back to last year at some of your kids' favorite things, the things that they just loved doing and dig in deeper to those things and just say, before we start this new year, let's review some of our favorite things from last year and let's really dig into those. And again, you could use those same resources that I mentioned in number 2 to accomplish that. But I think it's kind of a neat opportunity that we have right now where we may not be able to move forward, where we may be caused to just pause and dig in deeper where we are in some areas of our life. And this is one of them. This is one area where we have a neat opportunity to just kind of slow things down and really dive in. And if there were things last year, because last year ended in kind of a weird way for a lot of people, maybe there were some things you weren't able to do, maybe some projects or activities that you weren't able to put together for your kids because of everything that was going on. Do those now. If your kids really enjoyed those topics, just take these first few weeks until your new books get here to enjoy some things that maybe you had to skip over or couldn't complete last year. Number 4, am I on number 4? Yes, number 4. I would like to suggest to you a couple options if you aren't feeling confident in creating unit studies or picking out your own resources to study topics, things like that I've already mentioned. If you're not comfortable doing that, I wanted to suggest a couple resources that are kind of already done for you and they're free online. Discovery K-12. Now make sure you have that word discovery in there because K12.com is actually the public school's online platform. So this is different. This is a completely free online homeschool platform. It's discoveryk12 altogether.com. And this is actually scheduled out by the day, and your child would just click day 1, or you could click day 1, and it would list the main subject areas there, and they would just go down, and everything is web-based. So material to read or videos to watch or games to play are all right there with links, and you just go down through and click on things that you want your child to complete that day, or they could do it independently if they are old enough. Now again, that same disclaimer, I don't know the worldview of the creators of that website, so you may come across content that differs from the worldview that you see here on this channel, so just take that into account. Another site is Easy Peasy, All-in-One Homeschool. That one has kind of been known about for a long time. I actually prefer Discovery K-12 for ease of use. I think it's easier to find things and what your child is actually supposed to do. I think the directions are less verbose, and while detail is nice, my child would look at all those directions to read on the Easy Peasy site, and he just was like, what am I supposed to do? There's so much here. So I like the Discovery K-12 site better because it's just more streamlined and I think it's more user-friendly. But the Easy Peasy site is a well loved and tried and true resource as well. And it is well done. I'm not meaning to sound critical. It just doesn't fit the kind of learners that we are in this home. And then I think I mentioned this already, this YouTube channel, but Math Antics, I can't remember. Yes, I did. I mentioned that with the Math Mammoth website. But that would be another one that I would go to and just follow along with what they're doing. And you could opt to get printables or not. You could just let your kids watch the videos and practice math drills. There's lots of websites with math drills and math games. So if you don't want to have your kids do any writing for math, Turtle Diary, abca.com are great places to find some fun math games, and check out those other 2 sites I already mentioned for the actual teaching instruction, and just call that math. Let them have a nice, easy start to math. We haven't had much easy this year. This might be, this little delay with your curriculum not arriving might be a nice little way to give your kids a breather too. All right, and the fifth thing, and probably the one that most people don't consider because you may not be aware that publishers do this, but oftentimes publishers will send 3-week or 4-week chunks of PDF copies of their material to their customers. They do this for a host of reasons. They do this for situations like this, like the material is being delayed in coming. It could be a new release product and, it didn't get to print in time and it's not being shipped out in time. So they'll send like the first 3 weeks or so via PDF to the customers to use until the hard copy books arrive. This also could be due to situations like we're experiencing now where the material sold out and they can't fulfill the order, but here have an electronic copy of the first few weeks to get you through. Now, many companies do sell entire PDF books, the e-books. I'm not talking about that because those are usually paid products. But would just be a short, like 2 to 3 week segment of that ebook that the publisher could send you. Now, this may not be something that the publisher advertises, to all their customers and lets them know, hey, if your books aren't coming, please send us this email and ask for this. But this is something that, again, I considered, what would I do if my curriculum wasn't here? This is something that I would probably do first before all of these other things, because no need to reinvent the wheel. If I can get the curriculum that I actually purchased, if I can get that here, then I want to be able to do that. So even if I have to print it out, that's fine. So I would do that first before any of these other things. I would contact the publisher and see if they can send you those first few pages. Also, look into free trials. Sites like Teaching Textbook, if that's what you purchased. If you haven't taken their free trial yet, I think you get the first couple weeks of lessons in the trial anyway, and so you can use that to actually get you started with the new material. Now that's probably not a good example because you could do that. It's online. You're not waiting for books to come, but there are materials. I know Knotgrass does this where they have a free trial and they give you the first 3 weeks in that free trial, and there are other companies too that have a free trial option on their website, and as part of that trial they give you the ebook chapters for the first few lessons or so. So I would definitely contact the publisher, look for the free trials, and see what downloads are available. There are a host of things on the Masterbooks website, for example, that are free downloads to the consumer that go along with some of their material. And you could use those to tide you over until the physical books get there. So look for free downloads on your publisher's website. Give your publisher a call and see if they can give you just those beginning lessons to get you started. And I can't think off the top of my head of any publisher that I know of personally that just has out and outright said, no, we don't do that. That's never our policy to do. I don't know that everyone is going to say yes to you, but I would imagine that many of you would get help if you called. So I would start there, and then I would look at the table of contents and see what I can create from there. That's what I would do personally. And I hope that one of these 5 things has given you an idea of what you can do to fill the gap of time until your curriculum arrives, and I hope it arrives soon. I know how exciting it is to get that box in the mail and open it up and begin to organize and plan for your new year. So I hope that your delay is short and I hope that you get your things soon. But if not, I hope that these tips will help you still make progress and still have a great, rewarding time homeschooling your kids. Take care, everyone. Of course, I hope you leave me a comment down below. I love to hear from you all, and I will see you in the next video.